Don't you just love real estate in the fall?
Oh my gosh, yes. I would send a bouquet of fresh new listing templates to all of our listeners if I could.
Oh, and speaking of fresh, our brand new Modern Agent Social Club members website just launched, and it's already been such a game changer for agents.
Inside, you'll find everything you need to show up consistently, like all of your content, your emails, and lead magnets, all dragged into your personal calendar so you can follow a marketing plan designed just for you.
Yeah, so instead of sitting around waiting for the "you've got mail" ding in your inbox, you can just create it by attracting clients with a brand that feels like you.
So take a quick break from looking for your client's dream home and sign up for your real estate marketing dream home, aka Modern Agent Social Club, today. And you know what? While we're at it, I'll throw in our Modern Agent just listed template vault to any new members who sign up today.
Oh my gosh, yes, let's do that.
So go sign up at modernagentsocialclub.com and then you can get back to watching your favorite fall movie, You've Got Mail. Always loved the color pink. When I was a sophomore in high school, I wore pink every single day of the entire school year.
Elle Woods, ladies and gentlemen, turn left onto Carroll Road. And I was like, shut up, Siri, I'm trying to talk.
Does that mean you should use pink in your branding? Absolutely not, unless you wore pink every day sophomore year of high school. Then go for it. No, I'm just kidding.
How do I get more leads?
How do I stand out in my market?
Is it unprofessional to talk about my kids on Instagram?
Should I have one account or two?
Do I really need a personal brand as a real estate agent?
We are the Modern Agent Marketing Girls. We are two agents turned marketing experts who believe you can become the go-to real estate girl in your market, all because you are you. I'm Chelsea Peterson, founder and CEO of Modern Agent Social Club.
And I'm Kayla Fox, Modern Agent's content creator. Let us be your guide as we talk about what it means to market your real estate business the modern way.
So refill your favorite beverage, open your notes app, and get ready to build a business and a brand you're obsessed with. Let's go. Good morning, Kayla.
Good morning. Welcome back to another episode of the Modern Agent Marketing Girls podcast. I have sad news today. We don't have much of a Summer I Turn Pretty update because of the timing of us recording this.
Because we're recording back-to-back episodes right now. Anyways, I had another thing to share that I am excited to share.
Let's hear it.
So I was a longtime fan of The Bachelor franchise. I was so into it. Well, for the last however many years, probably since 2020, I haven't paid attention. It just got kind of old. And I was listening to Chris Harrison. He was on Caitlin Bristow's podcast, and he said that back in the early days of The Bachelor, so this was pre-social media, they had over 10 million viewers per episode on average. And it was like more than like the Golden Globes or like I think even some NFL games. I mean, it was just like their viewership was out of like insane.
Yeah.
And to go from that to like, they really, really went down. And just recently, we're like, they need to do something to shake it up. Like, what are they going to do? Like every time they would, they did the Golden Bachelor thing. I think maybe that did a little bit, but at the same time, like, eh. So yesterday, the Call Her Daddy podcast, I saw this in my reels. She announced like there's going to be a new Bachelorette and she's from a different show and you're never going to guess because typically Bachelor franchise will pick like a previous Bachelor or a previous contestant or whatever. And it just gets so boring. So everyone's like, oh my God, who is it going to be? Is it from Love Island? Is it from whatever? And today they announced it and it's Taylor Frankie Paul from The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
Oh my gosh.
I think will be part train wreck, but it will 1000% boost their views.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I was reading the comments and the announcements and everyone's like, oh my God, I can't wait for this. I'm back. I haven't watched in years. I'm back, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, The Bachelor, like after years and years of success, they just got kind of stale. It got kind of blah. They needed to mix it up. And that's exactly what we're talking about today. I didn't even mean for that to act as a segue. I was just excited about this announcement. And I want to know, like, do you watch The Bachelor? I feel like I've had so many Bachelor conversations with like members and whatever back in the day, and now I just haven't watched it. I'm like, who's gonna? It's gonna be. There's gonna be a lot of buzz around this. There's gonna be a lot of conversations. There's gonna be way more viewers watching this because that Secret Lives of Mormon Wives show had so many viewers. Like, I am just so excited to see what happens with The Bachelor. I don't know that she will find love, but I do think it will bring a lot of attention, and I can almost see it going the direction of like they're gonna keep bringing on like stars from other shows. Like I was hoping it was Iris from Love Island, but anyways,
I
But I
love
think it's
that.
interesting, and when business gets stagnant, you have to do something different, and they've tried things.
Yes.
Sometimes you try things and they don't work, like The Golden Bachelor, and I'm not saying it didn't work, but it maybe wasn't, like, the winning answer,
Yep.
to what people wanted. But when you look at something that's working, because Secret Lives of Mormon Wives is working, and you pull from that example and you make it your own, which is the new Bachelorette, like, that's so exciting. So I
Totally.
think it's a smart marketing move. I'm like, that was brilliant on ABC's part, and let's see where it goes. We will report back. Maybe we'll switch from Summer I Turned Pretty to
There you go. But now I have to start watching The Bachelor. I
I
don't
know.
really
Okay,
watch it ever, but I'll have to start I'll watch it. I'll take one for the team.
to our listeners, send us a DM on Instagram and say, "I want a Bachelorette recap." It'll be like 2 minutes, just like our Summer I Turned Pretty. And if you don't, I'm sure we'll get a mix. Like, "Yes, do it. No, don't talk about that
Right?
topic." Okay. Anyways,
I love
what are we talking
this.
about today?
Okay, it's so funny because I feel like we have talked about recording this episode since before our very first episode of the podcast ever came out. Because we knew at the beginning of last year, or at the end of last year, we knew we were shaking things up. We were ready to mix it up a little bit, to try some new things, to see what could work, because business can get stagnant. And the only reason that we're sharing any of this today is because we know that this has been the reality for so many of our listeners too. The real estate market has been like up, down, up, down, up, down, which, by the way, is like normal in business
Always.
anyway. And I
Yeah.
think sometimes we forget that because, especially like newer agents, we've ridden this like wave of like, oh, this is so fun and like this is so great. But the truth is, in every business, there's always highs and lows. But all of our listeners who have been completely impacted by the real estate market, we have been impacted by it too. And so we wanted to share things that we have done that we have seen success with, that has worked or whatever, because we're hoping that it can kind of inspire you and inspire action and like give you like permission to shake things up in your own business so that you can continue to be in business for many, many years to come.
And maybe your business doesn't even need shaking up, but maybe you feel bored with it, or maybe you want to scale more, or you want better fit clients. You want to stop paying for the internet leads, or there's something that you would love to improve or make better or something. And so we hope that as we share what we've done and how it's transformed our business in the last 9 months, that it can do the same for you. So
Yeah.
first, I wanted to kind of just recap, and like we all know this, but in 2024, there was a lot happening in real estate. So, first off, following the pandemic, there was a record surge of new agents joining the National Association of Realtors with 100,876 new members in 2021 alone, which was an 82% increase from the previous year. So, these stats are from NAR online. This contributed to a significant boom in the profession, as evidenced by a 60% increase in people entering the real estate career between 2020 and 2021. However, this influx has since reversed, with the number of self-employed real estate agents and brokers dropping by 15% in 2023, which indicated there's a long-term shift in the housing market, which history repeats itself. It's just the way of the industry
Right.
and of the economy. But the other part of that is what else happened in 2024. First, there was the NAR settlement. So that freaked out a bunch of people. And
Yeah.
let's say agents who maybe were on that border of retiring, they're probably like, I'm not dealing with this. Like, I'm just going to
Nope.
retire. Brand new agents were like, I don't know how to show my value after this all came out. Like, I'm probably going to go. So there were so many agents that left the industry. But at one point, there were more agents than listings for sale, which is wild. Like, even that
Yeah.
is like, there's not enough business to go around at that point, right?
Yep.
The other thing that happened is interest rates in July of 2023 reached their highest range since 2001,
Yep.
which we know if that was happening in 2023, the major effects are going to come when? In 2024.
Yeah.
So last year was a hard year. And then the cherry on top of all of that was the election. And that was a very emotional election. And regardless of politics, this has nothing to do with anything,
Right.
but typically in an election year in the history of real estate, there is a slight pause during the election period because people have uncertainty in what's going to happen and where things are going to go. It typically, and I think always, has gone back up after the election, but there is like a lull. So that was a lot going on, like a lot in a bubble that was just like, as agents are leaving the market and all the things, like our business is serving agents. You guys are serving the buyers and sellers. So it's all one in the same. We saw the same effects that you guys saw. And in that moment, you could do one of two things. You could, I was nowhere near quitting, but you could pivot and be like, I'm going to do something else, or I'm not really going to focus on this. I'm going to do a new thing and just keep this on the side. Or you could what? You could go all in. And
Yeah.
I decided I'm going all in. Like, I'm here for the agents who are serious. I'm here for the agents who are entrepreneurs and they're going to like last through this. And that's what I was all about. So
Yeah.
with that being said, we did quite a few things in a
Yeah.
very short amount of time.
What I love about the timing of this episode, first of all, we wanted to wait to do this episode until our new website platform launched because we knew in the background that was kind of going to be happening. But you have always said, and I forget when I first heard you say this, Chelsea, yeah, it might have even been before I was on the team, but you had said something about how like when everybody else breaks, you put on the accelerator. Like that's what you should do. And not that you should never give yourself rest, right? But I think one of the examples was like, oh, over like Christmas break, let's just like chill, which of course we're all about like spending time with your family, unplugging, all of those things. But you could also take that time to accelerate and get it going. A lot of businesses always say like, oh, the J months are always so slow. Like it's always so hard. Well, you could say like, oh, well, like we said this too. Like, oh, we could take the podcast off in the summer because the downloads are typically lower. Well, guess what? Those were like our highest numbers that we've had before. And so we have just had that mindset of like when everybody else zigs, we're gonna zag because like we want results. We don't want typical results. So we can't do the typical things. So I kind of wanted to ask you some questions. I know I've had like a front seat of all of this, and it's just been like the coolest thing to watch, especially as like just an entrepreneurial geek in some ways that I've always been as far as like always loving small business. But you've done a few things. You've made some tough decisions, and I think that you're reaping the rewards. And I think our members are reaping the rewards. Agents are, but also, gosh, agents, like listen to what she's saying here because there's so many good little nuggets throughout this whole episode that you're going to find where I honestly think like by the end of this episode, you're going to walk away with like 3 things I'm going to do like right now to like actually move my business forward, to get the clients that I want, to build the business that I want, to have the lifestyle that you want, right? So let's just get right into it. The first thing you did was you really looked at your budget, which is not a fun thing. We're creatives. We don't like talking about money and papers and the stats
My
and all of
least
those
favorite
things.
part.
It's the least favorite part. It's why you have your husband there to help you through it. My husband loves doing that stuff too. I'm like, you go for it, man.
I'm like, thank God.
I know. I'm not kidding. Even talking about it right now, my heart started to race a little bit.
Me
'cause I just hate
too.
talking
I
about
was like,
money.
I don't like it. Let's get past this. Let's go.
Let's go. Okay, but what did you learn from all of that when you stopped and you were like, okay, if I really want this business to grow, what do I need to do?
Well, with budget, I think you have to, I'm going to say this and people may not agree or like it. You have to spend money to make money in some capacity. If you have your own business, that is 100% the truth. There was a story of an agent way back in the day. I don't know what year it was, but I want to say she had kids and she like didn't have a husband and she had nothing. And she went door to door to build a real estate business. She made it happen, right?
Mhm.
She did whatever she had to do in a scrappy way and got it done. But we're not living in 1970 anymore. And we're not like, even then you would need like to wear something that made you presentable. You'd have to be paying to keep your license. You'd have to be paying to be part of a brokerage. You'd have to be paying your dues and your insurance. Like nothing's free if you own a business and you have the ability to make as much money as you want. Nothing is free.
Right.
So with that, I looked at, is there anything I can cut or change so that I can reallocate it into places that are going to help me move the needle more? So it's just an example. I was paying for Active Campaign and it's an email software service. And I was paying almost $800 a month for it because of our list size. You pay per your list size. And Flowdesk had been on the market for a while. And I loved the style. I loved the vibe. And I was like, oh, it's going to be so much work to change. Spoiler alert. It wasn't that much work to change. I changed to Flowdesk. It was, I should know. Is it $39 a month?
I think so.
Which is insane. And currently, Flowdesk is if you join before December 1st, I think, or is it November 29th?
I think it's the end of November. We'll have to double check the date. Right now, it's all set up. Flowdesk has always been, it doesn't matter how many people on your list. If you have 1 or if you have 12,000 or 100,000, it's always been the same. Well, now that's going to be changing. So what they're saying is if you sign up for Flowdesk now, between now and November, then you can get locked into that pricing and your price will never go up no matter how big your list size is. So we'll put the link in the show notes for you, but it is a really good deal. And we've had great success with that. And it's been oh my gosh, $800 a month to $40 a month That's wild. And our list has grown significantly since then.
This is crazy. Flowdesk makes me want to send emails because it's so clean and clear and easy to clean and clear and under control. Clean and easy to use. Like I want to go send an email. Whereas like Active Campaign, I was like, oh, like I have to like use this, like it's so ugly. Anyway.
Yeah, that's so funny.
So that was just like one example. But then instead of just saying like, oh yay, I have $800 a month, what I did is I decided I want to start a podcast because I had my marketing bar podcast that was just for me and it was for entrepreneurs. And that's when I got a little confused and I like was debating pivoting and not pivoting. I wasn't leaving Modern Agent, but I thought like maybe I'll also talk about things that have to do with memberships and entrepreneurial things and whatever. Well, I was in that time, like this all happened in 2024. I was like, no, I need to focus on Modern Agent. Like this was my passion. This was my why. I'm not really excited talking about entrepreneur stuff solely at this point. So like that was kind of the driver behind all that in a bit, like in a little way. Like yes, the market, but also like I was doing that other podcast and I was like, this just doesn't feel like what I want to be talking about right now. Like I want to keep helping agents. I want to keep helping, agents grow their business with better clients and get the results they want and build a career around their lives and all the things. So I like got reinvigorated through all of this too. And so I decided to shift my funds from the email into starting a new podcast for agents exclusively. Modern Agent Marketing Girls was born.
Love it.
Probably what was that, October that we decided that?
I could probably honestly go back and check because do you remember we were voice messaging each other? I was on my way to the dentist and every time I tried to talk, there was a construction route or something. So I had to take like the back way to the dentist. And every time I tried to say something, Siri would be like, turn left onto Carroll Road. And I was like, shut up, Siri, I'm trying to talk.
I actually remember this now that
do
you
remember
say that.
Oh, it was so funny. But yeah, we were talking about like, okay, like how can we, and I think the podcast was twofold, right? We wanted to get in front of more agents. Like we knew we had a good product. We knew we had the ability to help so many people, but we knew we didn't have very many people in front of us. We had to get a bigger audience. But also our other thing about this the whole time was like, how can we get people in our circle, hearing us, talking with us, interacting with us, learning from us, so that by the time, if and when they choose to join, they will be totally bought in. Like they know without a doubt, like they have no doubts that they're making a good investment. Just like we teach our agents to do, right? Like we want our agents to build these relationships, to show up on social and to be consistent so that they can build that trust so that by the time that long before someone's ready to buy or sell, they already know that you're the one that they're going to work with and they know that they're going to be happy with you. They trust you. They're confident. Like, I mean, doesn't it feel so good when you have a client who's like, oh yeah, whatever you want me to sign, I trust you. Like feels so good. That's what we want for our agents. And so it's kind of funny, like not that agents have to start a podcast, but the idea is like, how can you be that like little voice in their ear? How can you be on their feed? How can you be in their inbox enough so that you can build that trust so that they already know, even if they haven't told you yet, but they know they're going to work with you before they're even ready.
It's also a really good way, like the podcast for us, like we are talking to more of the masses, I would say. Like as an agent, you're talking to your sphere, you're talking to people in your community. And for us, this was a good way for us to explain the way we teach and the way that our membership works. And like when you have like a million different memberships and you're like, well, they all have content, which one's the cheapest? Or,
Right.
like that's how people think. Or like, it happens with real estate. I want to sell my house. Who's going to charge me the least? If you lead with this, relationship driven approach and this, people getting to know you before they ever hire you, and they might know you. This could be a family friend and they want the cheapest real estate agent that there is. But if they're bought into you and invested in you because they like you and they trust you and they see that through how you show up on social media and in their inbox, that becomes less important. I'm going to charge least. I want someone who I trust to get the job done becomes more important and to do the best job for me or whatever. And someone that I trust with knowing everything about my finances and about, my house and all the things. So with all this being said, I think you don't have to start a podcast, but this would relate to you in more of like you need your face and your voice to be part of your social media strategy.
Yes.
It can't be graphics and checking a box and like, oh, I posted today. Like, I think the thing that a lot of maybe is like a misconception with social media is like, We just have to put something there so that people see it and know we're in real estate, but that isn't going to build a relationship. The whole purpose, like, if you're not using social media to build relationships, you're missing the whole point.
Right.
And that's what we have to remember and come back to is, like, how can we use it to connect so someone knows exactly what they're gonna get? And if your face and your voice aren't there and you're not having the conversations, you're not showing up in a way that makes people feel like, "I feel like I know you," even if
Yep.
they whether they do or not, like, it's not gonna work the same. And so with that mindset, how can you bring yourself more front facing, whether it's cozy coffee chat in your Instagram stories every Monday morning, or it's, one reel, even just start small, one reel a month that has your
Yeah.
face in it? It's little tiny things, little breadcrumbs that are gonna help someone see how you talk, how you explain things, how you talk about real estate, your client stories. That's gonna make someone wanna hire you, not just
Yeah.
because you had a pretty graphic in your feed. And we're so passionate about this, and no one can do that for you. Like, no
No.
one can have a podcast for me, just like what did you say, Kayla? It would be like telling someone, like, "Can you like, I really
I
need to
really
find
like
a
this guy.
husband. Like, I don't have time, though, I'm just so busy. Could you go on the date for me, and then let me know when there's, like, a good one?" Like, that wouldn't work, you
Yes.
know?
Let me know if he likes me. Let me know if he wants to
Yeah.
marry me, but I'm not gonna be there. It does not work that way. And, we talk about, like, building relationships on social media. What does that actually mean, right? It doesn't mean like, let's be honest, most of the time when you are, posting in your stories or sharing whatever, most of your followers aren't commenting, aren't liking, aren't DMing you, like, responding, like, that's normal because it almost becomes like a one-sided relationships, but you think about, like, I mean, again, a lot of you listening right now probably feel like you know Chelsea and I, right? You know how many times I have felt like Jenna Kutcher should be in, like, my contacts because I feel like I know her because I've listened to her for so long, like, it's the kind of relationship that we're talking about. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you know every single person that's following you and, like, have had inside jokes with them and all of that stuff and, like, built that camaraderie, but they feel that with you. That's what matters, right?
And what's really amazing about that is because of social media, it's one to many, right? You aren't sending just one postcard to one address. You could send a bunch of postcards, but you know what I'm saying? You're not like doing an in-person event where each person you physically talk to has to make an impact or I got to make a connection. Social media, you can do one thing and it could feel that way for 100 people. Like, that's the crazy power of social media. And I saw this yesterday and saved it. It was by Laura Haley DT. She said, "I wouldn't try to get everything right. I'd focus on becoming unforgettable to 10 people before trying to get seen by 10,000." 10 people.
Yeah.
Can you guys make yourself become unforgettable? Does 10 people sound doable? Like, it sure does to me. But if you had 10 people in your community or sphere that constantly sent you referrals, that always talked about you, that shared your content, that forwarded your email to a friend, you would have more than enough business for the rest of your life.
Right.
And that's what's crazy. But if you don't have your face in your content, if you don't have your voice in your content, if you're looking for like, well, there's so many agents in my market, that is the only thing they can't do. The only thing they can't do is have your voice in your face. So leverage that. Like, that is how you're going to build all those relationships, by only doing one thing.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. That's a great segue, okay? Because let's be honest, some of us feel maybe a little insecure. We don't like the sound of our voice. We don't like our face on camera. We don't feel real good about ourselves just yet. We don't have an aesthetic house. We don't like our clothes, all these things. One thing that you can do that we did was rebrand, right? And we kind of did this a little bit. We had some help with rebranding, but also by this point, we were so locked in on who we were that we decided like it was time to really lean into who we really were, which made us in turn so much more confident to show up. We felt so much better about all of that. So, where was your mind when it came to like it is time to make everything look a little different, feel a little different, and feel more aligned with who we are as a business and as people? What did that look like for you?
Well, I'll tell you, prior to that, I was more in the mindset of like, oh, I want like things to look luxury, or I want things to look really polished, or I want things, like, I was not really leaning into my vibe and aesthetic. I was kind of looking everywhere else, which is the complete wrong thing to do, right? But we all do it at some point in our business life. And when we decided to do the podcast, that's when I was like, well, we're getting scrappy. I'm not hiring anyone to do our cover or any of this because we need to like get going here. So I did it myself, and I love the color pink. I've always loved the color pink. When I was a sophomore in high school, I wore pink every single day of the entire school year.
Elle Woods, ladies and gentlemen.
Elwood. That probably had something to do with it, but I put, like, pink on our brand vision,
Yeah.
and I was like, "This is it. Like, this feels fun. This feels like me." And then I thought, "Let's just put it on the Modern Agent brand. Why are we only putting it on the podcast? Like, it should all be cohesive. It should all be one. We don't need multiple brands here. Like, let's make this simple." So then that led to we did a photo shoot, and we brought those colors and that element into the photo shoot.
Yeah.
And then that kinda just spiraled into, we started using pink more in our graphics on Instagram. We started using the same consistent fonts. Like, before, I thought our branding was beautiful. It just wasn't me, and I didn't really realize that until I kinda DIY'd it. So, like, sometimes we're looking for the answer, and I mean, brand designers are worth their weight in gold, 100%.
Yes.
But sometimes you need to know what you want first before you outsource. Because now if I were to, like, hire a brand designer to come in and redo my brand, I'd be like, "This is my vibe exactly." I don't want, like, them to go figure it out. I want them to take, like, what you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I know what I
Like
want, and then it
refine what we
becomes.
already are.
Yes. So, like,
Yeah.
if you can get clear on what you want before you outsource it, you're gonna get a way better result that feels like you and feels like it fits. So anyways, that just kinda changed everything because it gave us this confidence that we're like, we're stepping into this new era of Modern Agent, and when we're doing that, it's going to speak to and reach the people who also feel like, "This is for me."
Yeah.
So, like, with that, I don't know if we're ready to talk about this yet, but we kinda shifted the words we were using and the things
Well,
we were saying.
yeah, but I wanna say this first, okay? So what happened was we started kind of switching things around. We basically leaned into, like, our total feminine area. I leaned
Oh
into
my
our
gosh.
we did not lean into our feminine area, our feminine era, and oh my gosh, and I remember you kind of feeling too, like, am I going to and we've always kind of been for female entrepreneurs, but you kind of feeling like, am I gonna be like, am I ready to repel that many possible? Because think about how many male agents there are out there who and we have some members that are males, but, like, for the most part, it's always been female. We could look at that as like, "Oh, no, we're repelling, like, half the market," like, whatever. But we were like, we would rather get so dialed in and so focused on the female real estate agents who want their brands and their lives to also feel like be aligned with this kind of energy. You know what I mean? Like, we wanted that more than anything else. And it was so funny because once we really started leaning into this, started the podcast, started doing all of those things, which, yeah, the website is next. Then we got really good feedback. One of our longtime members, Kelsey, had messaged us. And we had kind of mentioned this, I think, before on the podcast, talking about just like leveraging pink. But she said, I was listening to the podcast. You mentioned something about finally tapping into leveraging pink in your branding because it felt authentic to you. And once you did that, you started to see some traction in your posts. She said, I think that combined with the podcast has what really has drawn me back as a member. She's like, I had just grown really stagnant with the content and all of that. But she said at the top of the year, probably when the podcast came out, I really found a renewed connection with the membership and the content. I buckled down, and I love this line. I really found joy in creating content again, and my brand recognition within my community has grown exponentially. So thank you for hunkering down on your target audience. Like, if that's not hashtag goals, I don't know what is, but that's what we're saying. Like, I think sometimes we are so afraid of repelling possible clients, or we don't want to only talk to buyers because we could list a house too, or vice versa, or whatever. But like, if we have to get crystal clear on who we're talking to, because then they're going to look at us like, well, no doubt, like, you are the only one I want to work with, which does bring us to the next thing, which is our website. Now we're talking our outward facing website.
The one you go to if you want to learn about us and sign up and see examples, which
Yes.
we need to revamp again.
I know. That's what's so funny because, like, you do these things, but, like, the truth is that, like, it's such a good thing. Like, ebb and flowing as a business owner, as a business, as an entrepreneur, all of those things, like, that's so normal. And, like, it's not because something is bad already, but because, like, it's good to revisit and to make sure that you're always, like, on top of things. But what we did was you bought a template through Tonic Site Shop, which I think don't you have a discount? Do you have
Yeah,
a
we'll put
discount
it in
code
the
for
show
that?
notes.
Listen to
I'm the worst
us.
affiliate ever. And now, I mean, I want to shout everyone from the rooftops. I just like never find time to leave it in.
Yes, that's
Anyways,
so
we will
funny.
put their info for their discount in the show notes.
Yes. But okay, so you had bought a new template from them, and so you were like, "Okay, I'm ready to do this." And again, we kinda did this ourselves. So tell me what your thought process was there.
Well, first, my husband was like, "What? Like, are you serious?" Because I had spent $7,000 redoing our website a year prior, which is really hard to admit. But like I said, I felt like that didn't feel like me. It just wasn't my vibe. And now that I had figured out what that was, maybe all of this really aligns with like coming out of postpartum because it
Yeah.
definitely lines up on a timeline with that. Like I came out of postpartum and I was like, this is who I am. Like, obviously, like, let's go back to pink.
Right.
Let's talk to the right people. So that's a whole nother topic. But anyways, that was my thought process. It was like, this just doesn't feel like me. And I feel like I'm not attracting the right fit members. That
Yep.
was another big part of this. Do I just want any and every real estate agent to join Modern Agent? Absolutely not. I want the agents who are excited about using social media, who want to elevate their business through it, who want to have fun with their marketing, who are like icked out by the generic old school, outdated tactics. Like who are like, we just had a comment the other day. I wish I pulled this up to read it. She was like, I used to door knock and cold call, and then I found Mask, and now my entire strategy is social media and email marketing, and I've never been happier. My business has never been better. That's a summary of what she said. Lacey is who said that. And I don't want the agents who are going to come in and be like, I don't know how to do this, and make excuse after excuse after excuse. But the ones who are excited and fired up to be like, where do I start? Like, let's go. I cannot wait for this. I want to learn
Yeah.
everything I can. I want to do, implement, implement, implement. Even if you're busy. I mean, like, maybe for you, you're going to use our emails. It doesn't matter. The point was, I knew I didn't need to attract everyone. I wanted people who are going to be a good fit and make my business better. Because when that happens, and this is what we teach agents to do, you get better referrals. You get word of mouth. Like just yesterday, I got if someone signed up and said like Chelsea Harold told them about us. And like that's the best, right? Like you want the people coming in who they're already bought in, they're excited, they can't wait. Not the people who are like, what's the word? Like the red flag people who are you can
Right.
instantly spot them that are like looking for an excuse, looking for a reason this won't work for them, looking for I'm the exception, no. Okay, anyways. So I just stepped into that and I was like, we're going to go all in. And it has served me so freaking well. So, yes, I had just paid for my website to be done a year prior, but since redoing it, our conversion has gone through the roof. Like,
Yeah.
it feels more authentic to us. And I think people feel that when they, like what Kelsey said in that message, like people feel that when they step in. It doesn't look like it's trying to, I don't know, like
Trying to
it's
like
not
appease everyone, right?
and I'm not trying to blend in to the rest of
Right.
the real estate memberships. Oh my God. Like I see them all the time and I'm like, I can't tell you what any of their names are or who's who because they all look the exact same. And I think like ours just stands out. Does that mean you should use pink in your branding? Absolutely not. Unless you wore pink every day sophomore year of high school. Then go for it. No, I'm just kidding. But it's stepping into who you are. Don't try to be this robot. Here's another interesting thing. We had a member post in our Facebook group the other day and she had two headshot photos. I'm saying in quotations. And she was like, which one should I use? I feel like I'm already portrayed as very young because I am. And I don't know if I should wear the black blazer in the more headshot photo or the pink one because it feels more like me. Every single person except for one, and I'm talking like probably 30 plus people
Yeah.
responded, pink. 100% pink,
It
100%
made
pink.
her stand out.
Yes, I see your
Yes.
personality. What is another black blazer staring at the camera? You look like everyone else on the feed at your brokerage site. Like, no
Right.
thank you.
She looked beautiful,
And
but yeah, blended in.
yes, it doesn't
Yes.
have to be pink though. The point is you be yourself. And it's not trying to conform to this mold that the real estate industry has put together, which so many people are walking in a line, marching down and hating their lives or like working with clients who don't trust them. Like, think of this, like you have that seller that you tell like all your advice to. You're the expert. You're telling them what to do before they get their house ready. You're telling them everything that they should do to get the most money out of their home. They don't listen to anything that you say. How frustrating is that?
Right.
So frustrating. And like when you attract the right people that like trust you and they have that vibe with you, that doesn't happen. And like
Yeah.
that's the same thing for our members. Like when we attract the right fit member, they want to listen to what we say and then they get the results. So anyways,
I
yes,
love
that
that.
is how our website became to be. We got a tonic template. I DIY'd it. the tonic template does a lot for you. And then we added like our fonts and our colors and our photos and our wording and all the things. And you can do it relatively quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, if you just need like a one-page website that looks out of like knocks it out of the park, looks amazing, makes you look so good, get a tonic template. If I could send that to a seller, they're going to be sold.
Yeah. Hey, do you hear that? That's the sound of my kids back at school.
It is really quiet.
I mean, I love them, but it's nice to have a little more time and energy to focus right now.
It really is. And that's exactly why I just love this time of year. It's like another new year. Everyone is focusing on their business and setting goals and really taking business seriously again.
Exactly. And that's why this is the perfect time of year to join Modern Agent Social Club. So you can take control of your business and equip yourself with all the tools and resources you need to build your brand and sell more houses.
And anyone who joins Modern Agent right now also gets access to our brand new luxury marketing platform that our members cannot stop raving about.
Right? They're saying things like, this is top tier, and this is such a game changer, and you guys thought of everything.
And honestly, it's never been a better time to join. With our new website, everything you need is right at your fingertips to design a custom marketing plan for you.
Think of it as like your marketing headquarters, designed to help you show up consistently without spending hours trying to figure out how to do it on your own.
Q4 is officially here, and if you want to finish the year with momentum instead of playing catch up, this is your moment.
So grab your favorite fall beverage, open your laptop, and join us inside Modern Agent Social Club today. Let's talk about the wording on the website too real quick. First of all, two things. First, it's not so much about like saying things and doing things that just reflect you, but you also want to have your website and your social media be a place where people feel like this is me, like I belong here. So a couple things that I will tell agents whenever they're like, oh, here's my website or here's whatever, is I almost always have to tell them the first part of your website, the header, needs to be about whoever is landing on your page. So yes, you want to be the expert, right? But having a photo of you saying like, I'm Columbia City's top agent doesn't tell anyone I should keep scrolling because this is for me. One of my favorite, I'll just tell you what it is. One of my favorite headers that I've ever seen that I'm like, man, if I ever did real estate full time again, this is what I would do, is I would be like, the happiest Columbia City homeowners start here, or something along those lines, because
Love
it's like,
that.
oh,
Instantly
wait a minute.
interested.
Yeah, it's like, well, I want to be happy living there, or like, I want, like, this is where all the locals start. Okay, I want to start here, you know? So making the website about your ideal customer or client or whatever, but also literally use their words. It's enough with the industry jargon, right? One thing that I always talk about is like when agents, and every agent says this, right? I love referrals. That's super great. But the general public does not ever call you and say, hey, I have a referral for you. Client to or agent to agent, we say that, right? But clients in general public, they don't say that. What they say is, I told my friend to call you. So when you think about those little shifts in the way that you talk in your content, on your stories, in your emails, your website, all of the places, use the words that they're already saying. And that's what we started doing too. Like we took out a lot of like the fancier, like, oh, this is like the best marketing, whatever, or like even making it like, we kind of took the focus off of like being really great marketers, because most agents don't care to be really great marketers, even though we care about that. But we made it more about how like sell more houses and get to your kid's soccer practice by 5. Like that was like, oh, that's important to like our ideal listener, our ideal member, all of those things. So we honestly went through our DMs, we went through our Facebook messages, our emails, and we screenshot so many things that people were saying. And we literally like laid it all out and said like, how did she say it? Okay, put those words right there. Like that's literally how it all came to be. And again, it could stand to be improved again for a little bit, but I would highly recommend doing that as an agent. Use the words straight from your community. You know, it's kind of like, this is a really great time of year to do it because you're getting together with family for holidays a lot. Listen to how they talk about the market, because it will always come up. They're probably not saying like, oh, I'm just nervous because I know I have a lot of equity, but I'm not sure how to leverage it. What do they say? No, they're like, I don't know. I got a great interest rate. My house isn't too bad. Like,
or
that's how they're talking.
Or they're saying like, I would die to have a bigger kitchen. Like, oh
Right.
my gosh,
I just don't know if I can do it. I
yeah, and I
feel
like
bad leaving.
or I have to wait. I'm gonna wait a little while
Yep.
or blah blah blah. Like you got to start. Or the other day, I heard friends of ours are moving out here by us, and they want to build, but they want to like come out here sooner than later. And obviously, finding a lot and building and all
Yep.
the things is like a big project. It's not a 2 month, 3 month, 5 month thing. And they just said like. The wife was like, well, maybe we should do like a stepping stone house. And I was like, ooh, a stepping stone house.
Yes, right?
People think that like listen to the and I instantly am like content idea, like
Yep.
listen to the words the actual buyers and sellers are saying, not the industry. Stop looking at other real estate agents and their pretty graphics. Like look at your own clients and what they're saying and write it down. And not every client is going to have the right like think of your favorite clients or your go-to clients. I remember actually I was asking, this was when I was selling real estate. I asked my best friend, like I did like a little Q&A with her. I was like, I want to ask you a few questions to get like my wording down
Yeah.
of what I want to put in my bio and whatever. And I said like, what was like your biggest concern when you were thinking about selling or moving or whatever? And I asked her like this list of questions and she would be happy to tell me. And it's going to come straight from her mouth, a regular person's brain, what they think about the market. So you could do that too. Like if you don't have clients right now or yet or whatever, you don't have tech or screenshots, like just ask a friend a few
Yeah.
questions and write it down and just go with that. And
Yeah.
probably your best friend could ideally be your ideal client.
Yeah. I love that. Okay, that's so good. Okay, that kind of brings
Can I
us
share one thing just for fun?
Yeah.
Because I found this last night.
Okay.
Okay, so this is 2017. I'm building my first website. And if you didn't know, Modern Agent was first called Pop the Cork Social. Just so funny. Talk about not knowing how to name your business. Okay. Anyways, my stepdad actually came up with this name. So shout out to Rory. He took credit for this. But Pop the Cork as in I loved a closing day celebration. My go-to client was a first-time home buyer and I loved the like feeling of home ownership. So that's where that came from. But I found a picture I took of my website in a coffee shop, Collectivo. Here it is.
I love that.
And I want to read you my headline then because
Okay.
this shows you that it just shows you. Okay. It says the social media solution for real estate agents, which actually it's not terrible.
Yeah.
And then it says the content you need is already mixed to perfection and waiting for you at the bar.
Okay.
Tell me more. Maybe that wasn't the header. It was just somewhere on my website.
Yeah.
But I leaned into like the creativity and the like, oh, waiting for you at the bar, which is fun, but that's not what anyone's thinking. Agents are like,
Right.
where's the content that's going to save me time? Or like, what should I post to get clients? Or you know what I mean? So this was 2017, Chelsea.
Yeah. But also marketing has changed so much too. We used to be able to post those cryptic photos and like those cryptic little like, one-liner type
Creative.
of captions. Yeah. And people would be like, "Oh, that's pretty," or whatever. But now like we've gotten so much more savvy as consumers. And so we like have higher expectations. And as marketers and as entrepreneurs, we're held to a higher standard. And so we have
And
to
we
like
need to be very clear, like
Yes.
clear over clever, but clear to your consumer, not clear to your industry.
Yeah. 100%. Okay, so the next thing is we rebranded our email and we refined our funnels. I kind of put this all in one, email in general. We talked about switching to Flowdesk, which was huge. But then through that, we rebranded our actual like weekly email that goes out and went through our funnel. So which one do you want to talk about first?
Let's talk about the email. So I had an email called the Weekly Sip. Again, I was all with this like wine bar, whatever theme. And I liked it, but I was like, it just doesn't fit. It doesn't fit now. So like, let's shift that. And we came up with the Modern Agent Confidential. The marketing inside scoop for real estate agents is our slogan. And it's cute, it's fun, but it also tells you exactly who it's for, right?
Yeah.
It's very direct. And I love the name. And then I went all in on this like strategy of how it's going to be formatted and what they're going to look like. And not in a complicated way, in like a simplified way. My angle to spill my secrets, and you probably are on my email list, I have headers. So it makes the email really easy to complete. So I'll have like what to post this week or what's happening at Modern Agent and something I'm recommending to everyone or whatever. Like I have these little headers and then I fill them in and I'll change them up and stuff. But
Yeah.
it makes it fun. It makes it bingeable to read. It still brings in like, the behind the scenes of Modern Agent front facing. So you're not just writing an email about nothing, but you're writing an email that comes back to your business in some way. And with that, when you have an email list, you have to have some type of a funnel so that when someone signs up to get
Yeah.
on it, they are now going to get maybe a series of emails, but you can keep it really simple. They could get one email. So for example, right now, if you sign up for the Modern Agent Confidential, if you go to modernagentsocialclub.com/email, you can test out what this looks like. You'll get an email bounce back welcoming you to the Modern Agent Confidential email and telling you what you can expect in future emails. And that's all you need. That's all you need for that funnel.
Because you send them consistently outside of that.
Yes.
So it's not like you're waiting another month to get something.
Right. So every Friday we're sending an email, which I missed a couple weeks during this website launch, but we'll be right back. And you're just telling them what they can expect. And then they know like, oh, I want this. Like, this is why I want to get this.
Yeah.
And then beyond that, they're just dropped onto that Modern Agent Confidential list. So Flowdesk makes this very clear. And then for our other funnels, all I mean by that is when someone opts into, for example, one of our free resources. So they opt in for a lead magnet, a freebie, whatever you want to call it. They get dropped into a funnel. And the funnel is going to deliver the freebie. The second email is like, hey, in case you missed this, here it is again. And then the third email is how to use this resource, because we know how buried people's inboxes get. Like, it's very clear. It's very simple. And then they get put on the weekly email list, the Modern Agent Confidential. And that's it. It's easy. It's simple. Now, there's something called the middle funnel. I'm going to talk about this briefly for the people who are very into email, but we could talk about this in depth. The middle funnel means you are nurturing people who might be ready to become a client or a member or whoever. So coming in from a lead magnet saying like, I want content ideas. The middle funnel is something that nurtures them. Something I would recommend is like you would drive them back to an Instagram post so that they see your Instagram and they can see your face or hear your voice. If you have a podcast, I would be like, hey, this episode is going to be really helpful to pair with that free resource you just asked for, or, something along those lines. So having a middle funnel that basically nurtures people into conversion more deeply than just getting them on your weekly email list, that is an option. So as an agent, you might do something like that for a buyer or seller lead magnet, where you're like telling them, here's your next step. Do you want to schedule a mini consult? Do you want to get on a Zoom call? Do you want to meet for coffee? Or here's what's next for my buyers, or something along those lines. You could tell your story in there. And again, I won't keep going on this because this gets deep, but a middle funnel, we revamped our middle funnel.
Yeah.
The other funnel would be new member funnel. So like a new client funnel, what do they get when they become a client? If you have a series of emails lined up that drip to them to kind of set them up for success, tell them what the process is, kind of hold their hand, help them navigate what they're about to begin, that would be another funnel.
Yeah. These are so important because it allows us to market our business and continue to nurture our client or our future members through, let me rephrase how I just said all of that. What's so nice about having funnels like this is that it allows things to be working on the back end so that you can continue to focus on the things that matter, like today, right? So, when clients or when agents say like, oh, I've got so much going on, or I haven't even had time to post on social, which that does happen sometimes, right? But if you have these emails funnels set up on the back end, then you are able to continue to make headway in your business, even if you yourself haven't been able to be 100% present.
If you are the agent who wants to scale things, like what I just said might sound like I don't have time for that. But here is the most amazing thing about what I just said. You do it once and it's all automated.
Yeah.
Which means your people are getting nurtured by you. They're hearing from you. They're seeing your name. They're learning about you. They're learning what it's like to work with you. And you're doing nothing. You're showing houses. You're watching a movie with your kids. You're taking your kids to the zoo. You're redecorating your bedroom for the 5th time. You're watching Gilmore Girls for the 37th time. Like, you were doing those things. Well, that's all happening in the background and people are converting.
Yeah.
Now, does it take some setup? Yes. Does it take like getting an email software that's going to allow you to do that? Yes. Again, Flowdesk is the easiest thing I've ever experienced. But you have to do it the one time and then it's done. So like when you're someone who's so busy, I can't keep up, I need to scale, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, but I'm going to go send pop-bys and I'm going to send these postcards and I'm going to do 3 open houses every weekend. None of that is scaling. None of that is running for you. You have to be, minus the postcards. Sorry. I don't know why I keep using that dumb example. You have to be doing and present for every single one of those things.
Yeah.
And when you have something like when you use social media and you have these calls to action to grab a free resource and someone gets on that, client pipeline for you, or you're growing your database and then you're getting more referrals because they're seeing you every week.
Right.
Like that's where your business is going to scale and grow without you having to be somewhere.
Yep. And it's work on the front end, but it continues to serve you. So it's completely worth it.
Let me ask you this. Would you trade 6 hours of work time for 52 weeks of free time. I mean, that's an excessive answer, but would
Right.
you?
Yes. That is essentially what you're saying,
It's
right? Like,
ROI. Yes.
yes, ROI for sure. That's what we say about social media content too, is like you can post something within 10 minutes, but you can have it reach thousands of people. Like that to me is more worth it than going to an open house where you might have 4 people who may or may not ever want to work with you walk in the door. So yeah, so there's a lot to consider there. The next thing that we did after we had all these things set up, right? The podcast is going, our funnels are good, our website's better, things are moving along, our branding feels more aligned, we're attracting the right people. Then we started ads, which is hilarious that we really have never done a whole lot with ads ever. It's always been like organic growth.
No, I
But
did. I did do ads. In like 2018, we
okay,
did.
yes.
Yeah.
So for a little while, but through all of this, it has been like we basically it's like what is it? The baseball example where you're like, okay, bases are loaded. Like now any effort that you put into ads, it's just going to be a home run because everything is set up to work for you. So what would you say about that?
Ads they're not designed to save your business. So if you are like, oh my God, I'm at my last like thread, I'm hanging by a thread, I'm going to do ads. I wouldn't recommend it. I would recommend putting the energy and effort and sweat equity into some of the things we previously talked about. And then when those things are running for you, you layer in the ads, and all the ads then are pouring gasoline on the fire.
Yeah.
So you need proof of concept first, meaning you need to already have had some clients and some business and your email list getting built and that you're seeing that things are happening for you organically. And then when you add on ads, it adds the gasoline to the fire. This is something we did decide to outsource because it's not in my wheelhouse. So this is another kind of good topic is I should have started ads years ago, but it was always one of those things like I just can't get my brain there right now. I can't get my brain there right now. Well, looking back, like, would that have helped? Yeah, I'm sure it would have. But I'm in such a better position right now because I was on this trajectory where everything was aligned finally. And this is like funny to say because we've had, 1,200 members. By no means is this business like not working,
Right.
but we were in this slump, right? And like, any business, talk about going back to The Bachelor at the beginning of this conversation, any business, if you're not evolving and pivoting when necessary and making changes and looking at your consumer behavior and looking at what has changed in the industry in general, like talk about The Bachelor. Since The Bachelor started, there's been a million reality shows about dating and love life and whatever. Like, same with us. There's been a million more content memberships. There's been a million more coaches and realtors who know everything and just pay me and I'll tell you all my secrets. Like there's just a lot of change, right? So you have to continue to evolve. So I would say not in any single person listening to this, including us, is ever done marketing and
No.
done with their business. There's never
Right.
a deadline. Like if you truly want a successful business, it's never just like, oh, here I am, got there, check, all done. Now I'm
Right.
checking out of everything. I think every single one of you needs to have something that's going to keep you top of mind, even if you are super busy. Because what happens when those
Yeah.
clients are done and they all close? What happens when, like 600 more agents leave the industry and our membership loses members? Like
Yep.
there's you have to keep the foot on the gas at all times if you want to keep growing a successful business. And I think that all comes back to the ads. It's like pouring the gasoline on the fire. Talk about trading time for money or, if I spend 6 hours doing this, I'm going to have 50 hours free or whatever. Like that is what ads are. Like I'm going to spend $1, but I'm going to get $5 in return. Like that is how that works. Now, I'm not going to really get into like the nitty-gritty of ads. They are, like I said, out of my wheelhouse. So that was something I decided to outsource because my attention being focused on ads was not going to serve my business well. I'd rather be sending an email and doing the things that are my strengths, posting reels, posting on social media, nurturing our members, doing lives in our membership group. Like all of that was going to give me a better return than if I like got totally sidetracked on something I wasn't good at, like ads.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a good lesson for agents too. Like there is a time and place for outsourcing. We are big fans of outsourcing. The one thing that we always say is you can't outsource relationships, like we said earlier. Like you can't hire someone to go on a date for you and then be in a loving, committed relationship. And so you have to outsource the right things. So I would recommend doing that. Like, I would say, like, man, like, and I've done it too, especially with this whole season, this whole year. I feel like I've worked more this whole year than I've worked ever in my life. But because we've had so much going on, but I've been able to outsource, like, you know what? I'm getting all my groceries delivered, or I'm going to like carpool with somebody, or I get my house cleaned now. Like, all of those things, it's like, those are things that I'm willing to outsource. I heard a podcast the other day where this woman was talking about like her very successful business and like the sacrifices she's had to make. And the one thing that she said was that she now pays somebody to wake up her kids in the morning. And I was like, I'm just never willing to do that. And it's not a judgmental thing. Like, I'm sure she's a wonderful mother. But like for myself, I was like, oh, that there are some things I'm not willing to outsource. Like, I'm not willing to outsource my time with my kids when it comes to that kind of thing, right? Not that I never get a babysitter. But outsource the things that other people can do that's not in your wheelhouse, that you don't love to do. Focus on the things that matter the most to you, which to me is like relationships and time.
100%. And you know what I think of when I think of that is like something for me why I even got into real estate to begin with was to just design my own life.
Yeah.
And then what can happen though, we've all been there with everything, is you get yourself in a position where all of a sudden other people are calling the shots. Your clients are calling the
Right.
shots. And you are like booked out of your mind and so busy that you don't have any free time. And you can't take a day off without your phone blowing up. And like I've been there and I didn't like it. I was like,
No.
this is not the life I want. And that's where like focusing on these things that are like prioritizing the things that are going to help kind of like pull that back and be like, wait a second, like what do I want my life to look like?
Right.
If you pay for cold leads and that's your main source of income, then you're probably going to be running around like crazy a lot. And
Right.
you're going to be spending a lot of money before you get the return and all the things that come with that. Like, yes, that can build you business, but is that the life that you're wanting to have out of it? Like, I always come back to what is my lifestyle. And like, I've said no to so many things because I don't want to sacrifice time with my family. I don't want to be in a mastermind right now. I don't want to go speak on a stage. I don't want to travel for work. I built all this so I can work in my home office. Like my kitchen is right there. Like I
Right.
don't want to leave to go do
Wearing our
those things.
slippers, our cozy
Yes.
sweatpants, and yes, for sure.
So it's all about knowing like this is the life that I want and aligning it with the things that make sense. And for some people, social media is not your answer. For some
Yep.
people, it's like, heck yes, that is what I'm doing. I don't want anything but a life that I'm in control of, you know?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that was a good reminder because while this year was funny, while this year has been a lot, I've never felt more clear, focused, and like happy with my business, which is
Yes.
crazy. But I also worked the year that I launched this is the hardest I've ever worked in my life because I was selling real estate and launching this and getting married. But
Yeah.
other than that, this is like the most output in in like a relatively short amount of time that I've done while also maintaining a membership, managing employees, having a baby, like all the different things. Like it's none of us are an exception. We all
Right.
are busy. We all have things going on in our lives. We all have a lot on our plate. We all have a ton to do. But it's how are you focusing? How are you prioritizing? How are you outsourcing and delegating?
Yep, exactly. So yeah, all of these things led to launching our new website, which we won't go into too much because mostly because we're out of time, but also because we've talked about it a lot. But that has been our driver through this whole thing, right? We planned all of this so that we could create a website that was like completely made solely for agents to make their life and all of their things so much easier. So during the times when we would get frustrated with things, or we were like, "Oh shoot, we need to record another podcast," or "Oh, we need to get a B-roll shoot." Like, wait, there's other things here that we haven't even mentioned that we needed to do, right? And it became a lot, but all of it was worth it because we knew the direction we were headed. We knew where like the final destination was going to be, which was like, we're finally going to get this website out into the world and it's going to get into the hands of the right agents who were ready to use it, who understood how to use it and the importance of showing up for their business, right? Important because by now, hopefully by now, they've listened for any length of time. They have bought into the idea that they are worth investing in and that you have to invest in your business in order for it to succeed, like you said. So getting that into the hands of our members has been such a joy.
You know what's funny about the website is we listed off everything we did, and this all started, say, November or October, whenever the podcast idea happened. The podcast actually, so we started recording in December. It launched the first Monday of January. So we did this relatively quickly. Like we moved quick. Like you need to move fast in these periods of business too, where you're trying to really ramp things up. It can't be like, I'm going to overthink this for 6 months and then maybe I'll start a podcast or maybe I'll
Right.
show up on my social media feed. Maybe I'll learn about Flowdesk and start my email list. Like, you got to move quick. If you want to, like, it's not that you're outworking your competition. If you want to like stand out in your market, you're just like outperforming the
Right.
competition, you know? And when I think about when this all started, the funny thing is what I was getting to. The website was the very first thing before anything. We decided on the website in maybe like September. We started interviewing website developers in October. We picked one that we felt comfortable with and trusted and liked in November, and they started designing in December. And it
Yeah.
just was released on September 8th, 2025. So I birthed a baby in the
Yeah.
form of a website.
Basically.
And now I'm back to figuring out how to have a real baby.
Right.
But the point is like, in a 9-month window, we did, or if you want to call it a year, whatever, call it a
Yeah.
year. We did a lot, but we moved quick. We made quick decisions. We didn't overthink it. But what happens is when you're so clear on who I'm talking to, what my vibe is, what kind of business I want, what kind of life I want, all those decisions become easy and you don't overthink them. There's no time to overthink them. There's no like point in overthinking it. You just make the decision and you move. You
Yeah.
keep moving and keep your foot on the gas. And you're going to like, your world will change for
Yep.
you. It's funny. I was listening to a meditation this morning about becoming your future self. And I was like everything it was saying, I was like, pretty sure I live that life. Like,
Right.
which was such like a aha moment because we live in this world where we want more. I want more
Yeah.
money. I want a better business. I want this. And like, that's okay. That's what keeps us going. Like I said, you can't just shut off, right? But I thought like, oh my gosh, like, you know, the quote, like, I'm living the life I prayed for, but it's because of the work. Like, I didn't
Yeah.
just sit around and wait for members to sign up and like hope my membership grew faster. It was like, I committed the time. You committed the time. I brought Kayla on. We didn't really talk about that, but we'll talk about that another day.
That's all right. I'm still here.
I mean, you were already working with us, but bringing you onto the podcast, we didn't really talk about how that happened, but it's been the best decision ever. So thank you so much for doing this
Oh,
with
you're
me.
welcome. I love it. No, this has been so good. I hope that for everyone listening, I hope that this has been inspiring and it gives you a little peek behind the curtain. I feel like it's so easy to look at other people online and think like, man, they're killing it. Or like, I wish I could do something like that. But we always forget that like behind every beautiful, post or reel or whatever is like a lot of work and a lot of things that didn't work. That's the other thing that we should do sometime, an episode of like, here's a list of things that we will never do again, because it takes all of the things, right? So let me just tell you, if you have invested in something and you've been like, crap, I shouldn't have done that. That's not a mistake. Like, that's just a learning opportunity, right? If you're in a position where you are feeling overwhelmed, it's not because it's overwhelming. It's just because it's new. It's just different. It's okay. And if you are like feeling any kind of resistance, like, you're ready to go somewhere else. You're ready to take your business to the next level. You're ready to make things look different and feel more like you. You are going to feel resistance because your brain is going to tell you, no, 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 no. Just stay safe. Do the same thing. It's not so bad here. It doesn't matter if you're struggling to pay your bills, or it doesn't matter if your clients, if you can't stand them or whatever. Like, your brain is going to try to keep you safe in what's familiar. You've got to push through it, because if you can push through even just for a little while, you are on the brink. That's okay. If you can push through even for a little while, you are on the brink of like something massive that you're going to look back. Like, I look back now and I think like, I'm so thankful for those early conversations where we were just like, you know what? Like, let's get our heads down. We even took a little bit of time off posting. We were like, let's just like think, like, what do we want this to look like? And how do we want to dream this up? And like, what do our steps need to be? And I think that was like a total game changer.
You know, one more note I want to make is like, the best thing you can also do for yourself is if there is someone that makes you feel like you're behind, or another agent in your town who's doing a great job, like, block them. Like, don't ever wait. Like, I don't ever, other than like I see people's ads, but like, I don't look at competitors at all, like at all, because I want to do almost the exact opposite of what they do. And the only way I can do that is to just do what I know is right for me. And if you do look at the competition or whatever, you get sidetracked whether you want to or not. Like, it plants like unwanted seeds in your brain of like, oh, but they have that, or they have like, stop consuming. Like, block whoever. Like, just
Yeah.
be in your zone. This is so interesting. I saw a post the other day and it said like, when I decided to create a second Instagram and go all in on my business and not tell a single person, which as a real estate agent, that really wouldn't work because you're working with a lot of people
Right.
you know. But I'm like, how brilliant. Like, I just went and started a business. I started a new account. I didn't tell anyone, and she grew it very quickly, whatever. And it was just like, it's so true. Like, if you just put your head down,
Yeah.
you'll get so much further, so much faster, you know?
I love it. Very cool. Well, hey, I'm excited for what the next couple of months, but also the next several years holds. We have
I
fun things in
know.
store. So we'll talk more
All
about
right.
that
Our
next
brains
week.
are bursting.
Right?
As always.
Next week, we're going to talk about Q4 and all the things that are coming your way, all the ways that you can look at the last couple of months of the year and really ramp up your business. So we hope you'll tune in. And until then,
We will see you next Tuesday.
bye.
Bye. I'm so glad we got to hang out today. If you're as sad as I am that our time is up, I've got good news. There are a couple of different ways we can keep the conversation going.
First, follow us on Instagram at Modern Agent Marketing Girls and introduce yourself in the DMs. Also, we always have a free Modern Agent resource available, so check out today's show notes for the goods.
And finally, hang out with other go-to real estate girls like you and finally create a marketing plan that works when you join Modern Agent Social Club. All the details are in today's notes.
XOXO, the Marketing Girls.